Hi everyone, welcome to our Wednesday TNT, July the 24th, and this is a quick whip around of the main news stories from around Thailand. Please subscribe to the channel because that really helps us and allows us to, keep on turning up every day and churning out the news. Yesterday there was a big focus on this story about unlimited re-entries into Thailand using the new 60-day visa exemptions. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought it can't possibly be correct. It just doesn't add up. Had a sleepless night just going, no. I just thought about it. Now, some people have also sent me some texts. So let's start the program by going through a dose of reality about this multiple, even unlimited re-entries with the new 60-day visa. I don't personally believe it's going to be like that. Even though there will be people who'll be able to get across the border, they've been somehow sort of skimming under the radar for years, and they proudly say, I've come in 5 times, visa exempt, nobody stopped me at the border. Look, there's going to be a few people like that, but 99% of us are probably going to have to toe the line and do it the correct way. If you want to stay longer in Thailand, get a long-term visa. Let's go to these. This from Liz Harley. Tim, the Canberra Thai Embassy, that's the Royal Thai Embassy in Canberra, Australia, on its page about the new visa exemption rules clearly states, please note that visa exemption can be used 2 times per calendar year, in big red letters. And this one from Ben Lino, I've entered twice overland this year. Latest one was on July the 15th. I was given 30 days and the officer wrote 2 and circled it in. I take that. This means my second trip overland. If it is now a free-for-all, why would he do this? Just another one from the Australian dimension. Donald Carter, I wouldn't be relying on one person's experience as an accurate representation of the actual policy. According to the Thai Embassy in Canberra, once again this is Australia, please note that visa exemption can be used 2 times per calendar year. Shouldn't they say twice? I think we need to wait for a clear statement from the Thai government. Well, I don't think you are going to get any specific comment or confirmation about this from the Thai government, but if you do check the Royal Thai Embassy websites, I think that's confirmation enough. This from the UK and the Royal Thai Embassy in London, and they say UK ordinary passport holders can travel to Thailand without visa for no longer than 60 days, maximum 2 times a year. Now, I have checked some of the other embassy websites and some of them are still saying 30 days and they haven't been updated. It will take a bit of time for this to settle down. This sage advice. Kevin McKenty says, on mature reflection, I think I'll get my visa in London for 60 days and wait until I see how this new arrangement works. Well, that refers to the 60-day tourist visa, which you can get before you come to Thailand, can be extended for 30 days. The new 60-day visa exemption sort of supersedes that. But another question, are these visa exemptions permanent? Well, there's probably always going to be visa exemptions, but they will add and subtract countries and they'll add and subtract time from time to time. So no, they're not permanent. Of course, Thailand's not the only Southeast Asian country that's changing things up with their visas. This from VN Express. Southeast Asian countries boost visa relaxation amid fierce regional tourism race. Tourism competition in Southeast Asia is heating up as Thailand, Laos and Malaysia have announced moves to attract tourists with a series of visa relaxation policies. Now, for example, this is the one that's changed the most. The Lao government has expanded the number of visa waiver eligible countries by adding 8 European nations, and that's the list there. And they're now allowed to stay for 15 days with a visa waiver or visa exemption. And from July the 1st, tourists from 22 countries are also able to obtain multiple entry visas valid for up to 60 days. This is a visa, it's not a visa exemption. And previously it was only 30 days, and there's a list there of the 22 countries that would be able to apply for a multiple entry tourist visa. Heading to Malaysia, and they've agreed to extend their visa exemption for Chinese tourists until the end of 2026. And in Singapore, Chinese passport holders were exempted from visa requirements for a stay of up to 30 days in Singapore. So other countries in Southeast Asia are keen to get you visiting their country, and they've changed some of their length of stays and some of their exemption details as well. Now, a follow-up to the story yesterday about that big sign advertising, rather cheap new passports. We check in with the Bangkok Post. Chinese woman questioned over giant passport advertisement. And a Chinese woman found to be the coordinator in the posting of a controversial billboard advertisement in Chinese offering foreign passports and citizenship was questioned by police on Tuesday, and she's been identified as Ms. Nazu, who's 35. And she told the police that she was hired from Hong Kong to coordinate in the printing and posting of the giant advertisement in Thailand. All contact was via a Chinese message app and line app, which did not show a company name. And the cost of setting up the billboard, production and space rental fees was about 200,000 baht, and she was getting 17,000 baht per sign. And she was charged with being a foreigner working without a permit, and she's reportedly denied any wrongdoing. So nothing about the offering of these rather cheap passports to other countries. They sort of caught her on a technicality. Go to the Cottage English Facebook page. And the district chief visited the site of the controversial Chinese language billboard offering to sell Cambodian, Turkish, Indonesian and Vanuatu passports and citizenship. And the Thai building owner was fined 5,000 baht for violating the Cleanliness Act and more for not paying taxes. I know that intersection well, just up the road from where I used to work. Quite a blank space now left on that particular billboard. But there's more, also from Cottage English. Thai netizens are again worried about another Chinese language sign spreading on social media, this time at the Rojana Industrial Estate in Prachinburi. It's offering to supply migrant workers from Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam to work at Chinese factories in Thailand. And the advertisement says it's quick and legal. But some netizens were asking if Thailand's becoming, or has already become, a colony of China. Got a funny feeling we'll be seeing fewer of these Chinese signs around the place. Officials obviously more on the lookout because they do tend to stir up controversy. Well, gee, we'd gone for a whole week without having to talk about the future of cannabis in Thailand, but there has been a bit of a twist to the story. We go to calsodenglish.com. Thai government opts for Cannabis Act to end political deadlock. And as I've said all along, it is all about the politics. Let's go to the story. The conflict over whether cannabis should be reclassified as a narcotic was resolved with the government's decision to legislate on this in Parliament. So it's not going to be up to the Narcotics Control Board. They're actually going to put this to a vote in Parliament. Previously, the Pattaya Party, the leading party in the ruling coalition, has pursued a policy to reclassify cannabis, but this was met with widespread opposition from cannabis entrepreneurs. And the policy was also at odds with the Bumjai Thai Party, the second largest party. Let's just go and check the numbers. Okay, there's 500 parliamentary seats, Pattaya leading the way with 141 seats, then Bumjai Thai, the second largest coalition member, with 71 seats. And then, of course, in the opposition, we've got the Move Forward Party leading the way there with 148 seats. And on July the 23rd, the Deputy PM and Minister for Interior, Anaton Charvirakun from Bumjai Thai, acknowledged that the Prime Minister had discussed the matter with him and the Public Health Minister. And the Prime Minister suggested that there could be a specific Act of Parliament to regulate it, a decision for which Anaton expressed gratitude. So putting a proper Cannabis Act together with the regulations and pushing it through Parliament's probably a good result. But how do they get to this point? Well, the Bangkok Post says that coalition allies are denying making deals over golf. Well, golf and karaoke, it looks like. I wonder what they're singing. And the ruling Pattaya Party and the coalition partner Bumjai Thai have denied striking any secret deals after the former PM Thaksin Shinawatra and Bumjai Thai's Anaton Charvirakun were spotted playing golf together at a resort in Nakhon Ratchasima over the weekend. Mr. Anerton, who serves as the Deputy PM and Interior Minister, said that Thaksin and his family stayed at a separate hotel. He insisted he did not discuss politics with Thaksin, who's widely believed to be the Pattay's de facto leader. What else would they be discussing? Mr. Anerton also denied asking Thaksin to resolve the conflict between Pattaya and Phunchaitai over the government's plan to reclassify cannabis as a narcotic. But sources noted that the golf date between Anerton and Thaksin at the Khao Yai resort was intended to end the cannabis dispute between the two parties. Well, seems like a perfectly civilised way to do politics. Interesting, though, that it was between Anerton and Thaksin. Let's go to Pattaya for another update from a story last week. And reported in thepattianews.com, police officer arrested for alleged extortion of Chinese nationals en route to Pattaya. I'm not sure if the person sitting down has been arrested because the guy standing up isn't pointing at him. But a police officer has been arrested after allegedly extorting 700,000 baht from a group of Chinese nationals driving to Pattaya early last week. They were stopped on the road by people who said they were police and told they needed to pay 700,000 baht. A twist to this story as well. And on July the 19th, the Pattaya police managed to locate the Chinese victims who were initially hesitant. A 43 and 44-year-old Chinese were found hiding in a condo in Jomtien. The two men were not tourists, but were reportedly wanted in China for gambling-related offences. And the Banglamung police initially detained the two men for illegal entry. But their interrogation did lead to the arrest of a police sergeant, and he faces charges of abuse of power, coercion and illegal detention. You're arrested, everybody's arrested. And 4 more suspects are set to be arrested, including 1 more police officer from the Crime Suppression Division and 3 civilians. Well, I'd be wondering if they get their 400,000 baht back. Are the Chinese going to be sent back to China? Are they all going to be spending a bit of time in a cell together? Those questions and more to be answered in the future. Thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to the channel. A big thank you to our 2 main sponsors. And thanks, of course, to you. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.